The Denver Nuggets defeated the OKC Thunder 113 to 104 to go up 2-1 in the series. This was game 3 on Denver's home court. Several things stood out to me about this game. The first thing I would say is both stars of both teams, SGA and Nikola Jokic, had terrible games. They both played like shit when you look at their production. Jokic shot 8 of 25 from the field, 0 for 10 from 3, 20 points. He had 6 assists, but 8 turnovers. So he was terrible. Like on the offensive end, he made up for it on defense with 16 rebounds and two blocks. But scoring wise, he was very inefficient. He struggled throughout the game, only shot 32% overall from the field. OKC is frustrating him the last 2 games after he destroyed them in game 1 for 40 some points. Last 2 games, he's shot very poorly. And OKC has figured out really how to trap him. They know certain angles where to trap him, how they can strip the ball from him if he takes a dribble, and how to crowd his passing lanes to force turnovers on passes. They've gotten it down to a science, just what positions to get into, how to beat him to certain spots on the court. And then if he's posting up, they're good at pushing him out to different areas where he can't get into great post position. They just know how to bother him, or he could be posting up a guy, and then they know how to come from the other angle for help. They're doing a great job on that, and he's struggling right now these last 2 games. I do believe, however, Jokic will figure it out. He's a smart player. He's like a cyborg. Eventually, he's going to break through and figure out how to overcome this defensive scheme. Last year, I think is the best example against the Timberwolves. He was struggling the first, I think, 2 or 3 games. He looked like complete dog shit. And then after a few games, he went back to being his dominant self and he figured out how to play against the Timberwolves. And I think this will probably be the same deal. He'll eventually figure it out. That's why it was great that the Nuggets were able to get game 3, because it gives him more time to overcome this defensive scheme without feeling too much pressure now that they're up 2-1 versus they lost this game. It would have been even worse in the sense. But he's going to have to eventually figure it out. He's definitely going to have to figure it out. And SGA has been dog shit. Like in this game, he was terrible. I think the last game he had a great game, but this game just 7 of 22 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. Granted, he had a good rebounding game, 13 rebounds, 7 assists. So overall, I would say outside of scoring, he had a good game. But scoring-wise, he was terrible tonight. I would have to see another game to see if what Denver is doing with him is actually working, or is this just a bad game on his part where you just toss it out of the window. But I'm likely to lean this is more like just say toss it out of the window type of game where you forget about it and then you focus on the next for SGA. But it'll be interesting. Chet looked like shit out there, at least offensively. 7 of 19 from the field. He struggled. He had a good rebounding game, 16 rebounds, 1 steal, 3 blocks. So you give him credit for that. Hartenstein, is interesting that he shot 5 of 14 from the field. Earlier in the game, he was hitting his trademark floater move. And then he started missing even the floaters. Like he had like an air ball floater towards the end of the game. So yeah, offensively, he's never been really a great scorer to begin with, but you would want to be more money when it came to the floaters. But outside of Jalen Williams, no one else really played well offensively for OKC. The Nuggets defense really frustrated them. And the big reason why this game was close is because OKC was able to get so many offensive rebounds. They shot 38.5% for the game overall and 25.7% from 3, but the offensive rebounds they got were ridiculous, like 18 offensive rebounds compared to the Nuggets' 4 offensive rebounds. They got so many second chance points, and that's why this game was so close. That's something that is troubling for the Nuggets, that they can't get these rebounds easily. OKC, to me, is just like a step quicker. I think it's a combination of their youth and their athleticism that they're so great at getting offensive rebounds. But the Nuggets are going to have to figure out a way to clean up this because they could possibly lose a series if they continue to give up that many offensive rebounds to OKC. You just can't assume that OKC is going to continue to screw up on second chance opportunities like they did tonight. That eventually they're going to start hitting their shots. So Denver has to do a much better job on the rebounds than they did tonight if they want to win this series. Now, when you look at the Nuggets, overall as a team, they were great on the offensive end outside of Jokic. They shot 45.9 from the field, 40% from the three. If they could have won the rebounding game, I think they could have blown out OKC, but just the rebounds killed them. And that's one thing, like I said, they had to work on. Jokic was horrible from the field. He was bad, but if he had his typical Jokic game, I think they would have blown them out. But there's encouraging signs if you're a Nuggets fan. Aaron Gordon was clutch in this game. This guy hit some timely shots at the end of the game that if he didn't make them, they don't even get to go to overtime. He was huge. This guy is like earning his money during these playoffs with his clutchness. I don't know how he's become so clutch in these playoffs, but he's unlocked like the clutch factor, or like Skip would say, the clutch gene. Just I don't know what he's done to have this extreme confidence in these situations, but he's a big time performer, which is a plus because you always want to have those guys on your team, and he's proving it in all these intense games. In the final minutes, he's going to make a good play, whether it's a jump shot or a pass or something else. He's going to do something amazing. Another encouraging sign I would say for Nugget fans is Jamal Murray, that ever since I don't know, I think it was game 3 or game 4 of the Denver series against the Clippers, he looks like he's back to his old self, that he's very spry, doesn't look hurt, doesn't look like he's suffering from any injuries like he was suffering from throughout the season and even parts of the first round. It looks like he's like fully healed and he's like just loose. And if he continues to play like this, like he did tonight, 9 of 19 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 27 points, the Nuggets are a very dangerous team, and they have a chance of winning this series if he continues to do what he's doing. So you got to be happy with that. Michael Porter Jr. also had a great game, 21 points on 7 of 10 shooting, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. This guy is balling. That I'm impressed by his ability to play through the shoulder injury he has. He's playing through pain, but he's still managing to play at a high level and being a very effective player. That shows a lot of mental toughness on this guy's part. There was this one play where he fought over a loose ball. I forget who it was. I can't remember. It was one of the Thunder's players. I think it might have been Kason Wallace. I think it could have been him. It was somebody. But it was a play where he dove onto the floor to get the loose ball, and he fought hard for it, and just never giving up. That to me was an amazing hustle play that led to a jump ball, but it was incredible to watch. And just he was fighting so hard to get that ball. But these little things really add up, I feel, in these games. It really inspires your team to even play harder when they see that you're giving it your all and you're playing with a busted shoulder, that there's no excuses for anybody else not to try. So I respect that. I respect the hustle. I respect the grind, just the effort he's putting out there. Just he's being relentless. If his shot's not falling, he's trying to do other things to help his team win, whether it's getting rebounds, getting loose balls. He's just he's making himself useful, and that's what you like to see. So you gotta respect that. And even when it comes to their bench, Nuggets don't have the best bench, but Peyton Watson was great in his time off the bench. Defensively, he had an impact. He had 2 blocks. He even hit a few threes. He's not known to be a three-point shooter, but those points really matter. Westbrook was solid off the bench. He didn't have a great shooting night, but he made some good plays, had some steals, had some assists, and he had 0 turnovers. So that's always a plus from Westbrook. Overall, the Nuggets played great as a team. The only guy who didn't play great was Jokic. But you assume eventually he will get it together and figure it out. And when he does, it's going to make the Nuggets hard to beat. Now, OKC, we're going to see what they're made of in Game 4. That will be a battle. It's going to be hotly contested. And I think it could very well determine the series. I won't say it will, but it could. I can't make a decision on that. However, if you're OKC, you need to win that game. You don't want to go down 3-1. If you go 3-1, I don't think this team can get out of a 3-1 hole. So, but then again, if they tie 2-2, I still think the series can go either way. That's really how unpredictable this thing is. But the series could be over if they lose the game 4 on Sunday. They cannot go down 3-1. So we're going to see how strong their resolve is and what they're made of come Sunday. I look forward to that to this as a neutral fan who is not a fan of either team. So I think it's going to be fun.